Welcome back for another helping of oysters, clams, and small-time crooks, presented by Bolin Media. I'm Ross Bolin, here with Barrett Dudley to discuss and review the series premiere of Task from HBO. Barrett, how are you?
I thought you were going to introduce yourself as Diff Moward. Man.
Oh, Diff Moward.
Diff Moward, man.
Who could forget that
guy? Oysters, clams, and vodka sodas. Oysters, clams, and...
Did he have soda in there too?
Well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
He had a giant bottles of Schweppes sitting around.
Oh, okay. So you figure he's mixing those in.
But he was like, there were some times when he just just a tiny little splash of the Schweppes.
Ah.
Yeah.
Make himself feel better.
Yeah.
Mix it in there a little.
Lot of things that I feel like we'll be able to name this show over the course of 7 episodes. But doing great today. I just told you in a group chat that I narrowly escaped a wasp attacking me at the gas station just a few moments ago.
Almost got stung up.
So I'm feeling pretty good right now because I was able to avoid getting stung.
Only been stung once in my life. Ironically, it was on the nipple.
Oh wow, that's gotta hurt.
That's summer camp.
Yeah.
When I was a wee lad. Since watching the Task series premiere, I've just been pounding vodka out of a giant Phillies cup and listening to baseball games on the radio, so the vibes are high over here as well.
Yep.
I would note up top, we are going to begin covering Task for the remainder of the season. The companion podcasts we are doing will be dropping on Mondays, so we are switching our episode drop dates. We've been doing the Wire companion podcasts on patreon.com/oysters, clams, cockles. Those have been coming out on Mondays, but because Task airs on Sunday nights on HBO, we are getting back into the swing of things, and we'll be doing Task pods on Mondays starting next week. So we are 7 episodes into season 1 of The Wire on patreon.com/oysters, clams, cockles with an ad-free companion podcast on Patreon for each of the episodes we have viewed so far. Our coverage of The Wire is friendly to first-timers and rewatchers. Barrett's a first-timer. I'm a rewatcher. We keep it spoiler-free from the point that we are at on. And we would be happy to have as many of you who want to join us for the Wire journey. Get over there and subscribe on patreon.com/oysters, clams, cockles. We're having a blast talking about one of the greatest TV shows ever made. But today we are talking about Task, an American crime drama miniseries, technically. Does that typically mean this is it?
Yes.
There's not going to be a season 2?
Yeah, although I don't know why this one is getting tagged miniseries instead of limited series.
Yeah, I never know the difference.
You know?
Not sure how they pick.
I don't either. But I have noticed that this has been described as a miniseries.
Yeah, it was created and written by Brad Inglesby for HBO. Brad Inglesby popped onto our radar when he did Mayor of Easttown, which was another mini-series on HBO. As a result of the success of Mayor of Easttown, I did not realize this, but in doing some research for today's show, I found out Inglesby got a 3-year deal with HBO.
Okay.
I'm assuming this is the culmination of that 3-year deal, because wasn't Mayor of Easttown 3 years ago?
3 years ago, yeah.
So Task is... It kind of carries the same energy and feel and ominous darkness that Mayor of Easttown did. The vibes are similar.
And that would be, especially because it is essentially set in the same place.
Yeah.
We're outside of Philly here in Montco and Delco.
Right.
Delaware County. And Montgomery County. Former coworker Dan Register, famously from Delco.
Delco. Yeah, he's a Delco guy.
Yeah.
Task opens with FBI agent Tom Brandis, played by Mark Ruffalo, getting out of his bed, hitting his knees, praying to start the morning. We basically get this mirror of our 2 main characters and how they start their days, right?
Yeah.
Tom Brandis on one side, Robbie the garbage man on the other side.
Right.
Played by Tom Pelphrey, who many of us know from Ozark. He wakes up to his alarm clock, picks up his son, carries him to his bed. We follow both of these men's morning routines. Tom dumps a bunch of ice in his sink and submerges his face in the ice water, which we eventually learn he does every morning because he's hungover as shit.
Did you or your wife have any reaction to this?
To the ice dunk?
Uh-huh.
I don't think we did.
No comments from the peanut gallery?
No, is it to bring down swelling in the face?
Yes, it's to help with the hangover and to bring down swelling in the face and to get that shock to the system to try to clear your head a little bit.
Get the blood flowing.
Get the blood
wake you
flowing
up.
and all that. My wife, she's becoming like more germophobic by the day, I think.
It happens with a newborn, yeah.
So the immediate reaction was like, well, the sinks are gross. Sink is disgusting. You can't just be and then he does it like the third time of the episode and she's just like, I can't believe he's still doing it. So yes, so clean your sinks, people.
Scrub those things good. Robbie drinks coffee, then drives to work listening to a dating app commercial, which comes up later in the episode. FBI agent Tom goes and sets up his table to do recruiting for the FBI. And actually, at one point, there's an Easttown PD recruiting table that you can see. It's not even the full like sign, but you can see just enough of it to make out Easttown PD, which is a nice hat tip to Mayor of Easttown. Garbage man Robbie drives to pick up garbage from what we find out is a drug dealer's house that him and his boy Cliff, played by Raul Castillo, are scouting out. And Cliff brings one of the garbage bags from said house into the front seat of the garbage truck to show Robbie what's inside the bag. Basically, it's proof that they're cooking up drugs inside of this place.
Right.
I couldn't ID the bottle he pulls out or like what that is, but the gist of it is...
It took me a second to get going, too. At first, I thought they were like rooting through the trash to get drugs, or maybe they were picking up the drugs.
Right.
They were part of the operation.
Or it could have been they were, a lot of the times when people root through other people's mail, it's that they're trying to figure out who lives in that house or get information on them or something like that. So it's not entirely clear at the very beginning here. Obviously, we figure it out along the way, though.
Yeah.
Tom sets out some Hershey's Kisses for potential recruits, eats one for himself. And pretty quickly we fast forward and it's suddenly nighttime where Tom pours himself a stout cup of, I think it's Tito's vodka.
It is Tito's. Yep.
And
sure is.
That's an Austin-based vodka, is it not? Where we're at. Turns on the radio to listen to a baseball game while on the other side of things, Robbie and Cliff are packing heat in street clothes outside the same house they were scouting earlier. There's no opening credits. Just the word task floating up in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. I'll be interested to see. A lot of shows will do this for the series premiere.
Right.
And then when episode 2 drops, they'll insert their full-blown opening credits sequence.
Right.
I would guess that's what's going to happen here, but we'll find out on Sunday, I guess. Listening to a baseball game on the radio is a dying art.
It is, yeah. But it's perfect for this character. Because it's just some grizzled old man shit, man.
Yeah, dude, that's exactly what it is. Tom does it constantly throughout the course of this episode. It's like 3 different points he's listened to a Phillies game on the radio. In the morning, hungover Tom does some gardening in a silly straw hat, and this little girl comes out. At first, we don't really know. Like, is this his daughter? What is this? It's his daughter, Emily, though, we find out later. The relationship seems strained.
Yes.
At the very least, distant.
Yeah.
Right? Robbie shows Cliff an advertisement in a magazine where you can own your own island in Canada. Cliff wants to know who picks up your trash if you own your own island. Trash boats are discussed. Robbie asks Cliff if he's ever messed with online dating, and Cliff says he tried a couple of times, but because people can just Google his name and see his whole life and all his fuck-ups, it doesn't work for him. So, like, pretty quickly you're putting the pieces together like, okay, these guys, rough and tumble characters here.
Yeah.
Probably have a rap sheet.
Just having some lunch, talking dating apps. A couple notes here on this little sequence of the back and forth of the bounce between. If you've read anything about Task or if you've heard reviews or whatever else, you probably saw the Ruffalo scene mentioned because he drops what people are calling the trifecta of letting you know I'm from the Philadelphia area. He says that he cooked some scrapple. He then suggests that he can go to the Acme later, and then also mentions getting a water ice later in the day.
Water ice.
And so people were kind of simultaneously like laughing about this / eye rolling it that he has to drop those 3 things like in succession just to hammer it home that
Philly.
We're doing the Philly thing here.
Yeah, and then that's not it. Like they keep going throughout the course of the episode, right?
Yeah.
Robbie suggests that Cliff use a fake name instead of Cliff Broward, go with Diff Moward. That was a very funny little scene. There's good comedy inserted in here.
Does Tom Pelfrey? I I was getting major Jim Carrey vibes from Tom Belton.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I just his overall kind of look, and then like the Diff Mauer thing, it was giving me a little bit Dumb and Dumber.
It was a stupid ass joke. Yeah.
Also kind of giving me Chris Farley and David Spade with the Roads scene in Black Sheep.
Yeah, that's Black Sheep.
Yeah.
Where they accidentally get high on nitrous.
Yes, yeah. Anyway, there were some chuckle moments here for our guy Diff Mauer and Robbie.
Yeah. So between the fake name conversation, Cliff brandishing a pistol as they scope out the house, and their general vibes, you get the feeling these garbage men might be doing crimes, Barrett.
Yeah.
Robbie says he's considering dating, sharing his life with someone again, says he needs a life companion. I think he refers to Cliff as a monk, basically inferring that he's always fine just by himself, but Robbie's the type of guy he needs somebody to share with.
He does, yeah.
Says in July it'll be a year since Karen left, and that the longer she's gone, the less he thinks she's coming back. And we don't get a ton of information about Karen in this episode, but she is discussed a little bit later on, so we'll get to that eventually. Tom Brandis opens up an eBay box at his FBI recruiting table with a new set of binoculars in it. Some binocs. A young man named Kyle, who has recently graduated from Widener with an accounting degree, comes by the table, and Tom tells this young man that he actually majored in philosophy as an undergrad, then became a priest for 8 years, and now he's here talking about what the FBI has to offer. So pretty quickly into the episode, we're getting some depth on old Tom here. That's a complicated character.
Oh, yeah.
8 years as a priest, philosophy undergrad, now he's an FBI agent. What happened, Barrett? What pushed him in this direction?
We might need to study this character.
Yeah, a character study. Tom explains that normally he's a field agent, but he's just taking a little time off, which we later find out seems to be because his wife has died or was potentially murdered.
Yeah, so again, they're very vague with some of the details about the trauma that these two guys have suffered in their lives. But
Tom and Robbie. Yeah.
Tom and Robbie. But I think the gist of Tom is that wife is gone. We're not sure if she's just left or if she's dead. There's a third kid that is gone, almost definitely dead. And then the other child that is in prison awaiting sentencing that did something that either got one or both of those other family members killed.
There's a third kid?
Yeah. Because when he's looking at the family photos, there's 3 kids.
Oh, that's very interesting. I did not catch that.
Yeah.
I just caught the daughter who's alive and well, working at the shaved ice shop or whatever.
Rita's.
And then the son, who is clearly in prison, and it's pretty heavily suggested that prison stint is related to
some type of family death. Yeah.
I think the death of the wife.
Okay.
Is what I was taking from this. Now, whether or not that'll end up being the case.
Yeah. Definitely at least one other family member died at the hands of the kid that's in prison. That much I think we can be sure of.
They also give us later that it's a 3rd-degree murder charge that the kid in prison has caught.
I did not
and 3rd-degree
catch that.
murder is typically when your intent is to cause harm but not death.
Okay.
And then you essentially accidentally cause death.
Got it.
Robbie and Cliff go by the same house they were scouting again. This time they root through the garbage and they find a scale, I guess just as further proof. Like Robbie says, boys have been very busy. We go in tonight before the money moves, right? Then Robbie and Cliff drive into town and see their friend Peach Boy, who tells them he proposed to his angel, used rose petals and all, and they're just 2 bodies, 1 soul.
2 bodies, 1 soul,
just like you and me, Barrett. Just like you and me.
Yeah, that's right.
You and I talked off mic about this, but we both immediately were like, Peach Boy's gonna die.
Yes. Yeah.
It was pretty heavy-handed.
It was one of the most McBaney moments I've ever seen on television.
Yeah.
You just know.
He's too happy.
Yeah. And he's like, he's the third wheel. He's the young doofus.
Mm-hmm.
He's wearing the dumbass clothing. He's too happy. He's got the girl that he's talking about. Anytime you ever mention that you've really just discovered love for somebody, you've professed it, you're going to be happy together forever, you're going to run away together. Just to take it back to our namesake here, this is when Grey Worm tells Missandei that that this is definitely the last battle he's going into, and after that they'll like run away to Essos or wherever.
Right.
That's this.
Yeah. Pretty big red flag. Big red flag here.
And in fact, it was shocking that he made it through the first robbery, because that's what I leaned on. I think we both did the exact same thing. Speaking of talking to our spouses while watching this show, I was like, this dude's not making it through the robbery. And then he did. He just didn't make it through the second one.
Yeah, Lexi was on my ass. She was like, don't say stuff. Don't be so negative. And I was like, just watch. Just watch. And sure enough, Peach Boy goes down eventually.
Yeah, old Peachy Boy.
Robbie and Cliff tell Peach Boy they're going to hit the house on Murdoch that they've been staking out for a couple of weeks. Peach Boy says this will make for a very nice down payment on the wedding venue, just furthering, marking
exactly.
himself for death. Robbie and Cliff tell Peach Boy they'll pick him up tonight at midnight. Tom goes and meets with his lawyer, who tells him that sentencing will be held June 12th at 9 a.m. And this is where they scatter out some of these more breadcrumbs about what's going on here. So we surmise over the course of the episode that the person being sentenced is Tom's son, right? Mm-hmm. The lawyer tells us in this scene that for third-degree murder, he's looking at anywhere from 5 to 15 years in prison. Again, and my take was that it seems like Tom's son maybe murdered Tom's wife, potentially by accident. The lawyer also tells Tom that family impact statements will make a big difference in terms of the sentencing, and that Emily, Tom's daughter, expressed interest in talking on her brother's behalf. But Tom has not had a chance to talk with Emily about that recently. The lawyer reminds him that since the crime occurred within the family unit, again, that's why I'm attaching it to the wife. But I guess if there's a third child, who knows, man?
I also
could have been a car crash situation.
Yeah.
To get a third-degree homicide charge like that?
I also couldn't quite tell. I feel like, given the context, a statement from the family could help reduce sentencing.
I think that's the idea here.
But I couldn't tell which way they were kind of going with that.
Good point.
Like, it could be that a statement from the family goes the opposite way as well. Like, if your own family is saying this about you, we gotta hit you with the max.
This guy's a danger to society and should not be let out.
Correct. Yeah.
Could go that way, or it could go.
And then based on Emily's own reactions, I couldn't tell really which way she was.
Yeah, she makes it even more difficult.
Yeah.
To really suss out what the vibe is there. But yeah, Judge Adams will place a lot of weight on the statement when determining Ethan's sentence. Tom's son must be named Ethan, and he says he'll talk to his daughter Emily tonight. We see Robbie and Cliff go to Robbie's house after work. It's a cool scene where they the way they bust in the door and the kid jumps out from the fort he's built or whatever and grabs onto, what does he call him?
Uncle Trash.
Uncle Trash. That's not the nickname you want to get as an uncle.
You know what? I'm just now putting it together that he's Uncle Trash because he's a garbage man. Because he's a garbage man.
Yeah.
I was like, Cliff, Broward, Trash. How is this? How is this working? I'm trying to Zach Galifianakis braining this one. Pretty easy now that I'm connecting the dots.
It's funny that it's no longer Rain Man braining it; it's just Zach Galifianakis braining it. But also, as a note,
the power of memes, Ross.
It took me a little bit to figure out, is this like in the movie The Town, where they pretend to be different types of professions in order to pull off their robberies, or are they legitimately garbage men? But these are legit garbage men. Yeah. So there's also a young woman in the house cooking dinner, Robbie's 21-year-old niece, Maeve, played by Amelia Jones. We get some good joking, guess what, chicken butthole.
And speaking of the vagaries, again, they're just letting the context slowly fill you in. You don't know if this is a spouse or a lover or a girlfriend.
Maybe an older daughter.
Yeah, or what the relationship is here.
Talking about Maeve here.
Yeah, talking about Maeve. She kind of chastises him for going straight for the M&M's ice cream when she's just been laboring over the dinner with the marshmallows on top. So and then finally they kind of fill you in and it all starts making sense. But I love
very well written.
Very well written. I love how they just kind of let you. It's so engaging when a show treats you like that, when they just kind
of smart enough to figure this out,
drop you in, and then slowly kind of give it to you, and let your gears start turning about what this could be, what could have happened, how these people ended up in this situation.
Yeah, it makes you feel like you're putting a little puzzle together, right? We get a few good cracks about the meal Maeve made involving dog food, also marshmallows, and you feel like you like this little misfit family, right? Tom visits his daughter at her place of work, Rita's. It's shaved ice or some shit.
Water ice.
Is that what it is?
Water ice. Ice.
Why do they call it that?
That's what they call it. That's what they call a snow cone, I think, or a shaved ice. It's a water ice.
Is water?
Water, yeah, it's a water ice.
But isn't all ice water ice?
Yeah.
He asks if he can talk to Emily. Glad we got that one. Asks if he can talk to Emily for a minute when she gets a chance. Asks her if she's decided to make a sentencing statement for her brother. She basically needs time to think about it.
Water is the essence of moisture, and moisture is the essence of beauty.
Zoolander. Brad Inglesby is really, really good at writing characters that you pretty immediately pick up on as carrying like heavy trauma, people who have been like broken by circumstance.
Yep.
You don't get 15 minutes into this show before feeling bad for everyone in it. You know what I mean? Like,
it's dark. It's bleak. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
Even with the nice, humorous bits mixed in. Robbie tells his son and daughter a bedtime story about him and Uncle Billy riding a dragons. Things get a little bit deeper here because it seems like Uncle Billy is no longer with us. Uncle Billy is dead, and I assume we will find out why later in the season. Robbie insists Uncle Billy lives in his heart, and he lives in his son Wyatt's heart too. Robbie seems like a good-hearted man, maybe a simple man. He doesn't strike you as a fucking mathematician or anything.
Right.
Seems, a little bit simple, not a rocket scientist, but seems like a good guy, which is just, it's kind of one of the things that makes this first episode so interesting, is you don't really find yourself like hating on the criminals.
No, absolutely not. Then that's certainly by design. Like you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They, Inglesby wants you to feel like, look, these are all regular people with their own struggles or what have you.
Yeah.
Robbie walks in on Maeve smoking a joint in her room. He tells her he's her uncle, not house police. She can do what she wants. So as again, you're starting to put the pieces together. It seems like the late Uncle Billy is probably Maeve's dad. Later, we get confirmation of that. He tells Maeve that he and Cliff are headed out to take old friends who are in town to a bar. She says, "Don't come back with a DUI." And he drops a pretty cold line here. He's like, "Nah, they can't catch me. I know these roads like the back of my hand." So Tom goes through his nightly ritual of making a massive booze drink and getting wasted until he passes out, while Robbie loads and checks his pistol before heading out. We get some good stuff between Robbie, Cliff, and Peach Boy in the car on the way to pull the robbery.
Yeah.
Like Robbie walks Peach Boy through a meditation where he imagines he's on a beach surrounded by beautiful women. That was good fun. Great scene there. Outside the house they're going to hit, we see our trio mentally prepare themselves to do work. I loved this scene because too often shows and movies make it look like it's just super easy to gear up, go and do a crime that is involving violence and deadly weapons and like not need to get yourself in the right headspace beforehand, where you certainly would no matter how seasoned of a criminal you are. So Robbie does this thing where he breathes deep and touches both shoulders, explains to Peach Boy that he does this because when he was a little kid, they'd go swimming in a quarry, but the water was so cold that it would like their hearts would explode, I think is what he says.
If you just jump straight in, your heart would explode from the shock of the cold water.
So you got to acclimate your body.
You got to put some of that cold water on your body. That way, your heart doesn't explode when you jump in the water.
And Peach Boy says, "We're not jumping in the freezing water. We're robbing a fucking trap house." Great line there. So we finally see these three approach the door of the trap house. And the way they did this was awesome because prior to them approaching the door, you have no idea that they're going to be rocking horrifying Halloween masks. And you love a good, it's probably part of the reason the town popped up for me. You love a good robbery with a good mask,
Ross, this show had everything. It had trap houses being knocked off by dudes in Halloween masks. It had cool dudes shaving an apple slices with a knife.
That's a big one.
That's a huge one.
That shows me you're a badass. It had guys jumping into the quarry off of cliffs. Oh yeah.
It had so many
nature
good things. There was a huge nature element though. Like Robbie is like, they are really grounding him in something that feels very like natural, if not pagan almost, with his meditations and his spirituality and like everything surrounding him is like very green all the time. It felt like it was just a really interesting kind of cool thing that they did with that character where there's almost like, I wouldn't say supernatural, but there's just a vibe to him.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So Robbie's in the skeleton mask, Cliff is in a devil mask, and Peach Boy is in a wolf mask. And they're all equally terrifying masks. Like, what's that horror movie where the people show up and...
Scream.
No. Not Scream. It's like they show up and they
in the yard, and they're just like surrounding the house,
and they're just wearing
it's called
those,
like the visitors or something like that.
I don't know, but
I know
that
exactly
movie,
what you're talking about.
That's a messed up one.
Yeah.
The first robbery goes off without a hitch, like we said. Peach Boy does not go down. Everybody survives. They quickly duct tape and hog tie the two men inside. Very little resistance, although Robbie does have to pistol whip this one dude to get to find out where the money is. They get the money out of the toilet. They bounce. No shots fired. No real drama. In and out clean.
Yeah.
Tactical. Quickly, the internet can be a wonderful thing. Without it, of course, you wouldn't have access to our ever-entertaining podcast. However, with all the data breaches, hacking, and scamming that occurs online these days, it has never been more important to practice safe browsing and make sure you are protecting yourself with a VPN. That's where today's sponsor, Surfshark, comes in. As Surfshark says, using a VPN is like wearing pants. All the important stuff stays private and secure when you step your foot outside. With as much time as I spend online for work, I use Surfshark to keep my personal data safe, protect my identity and browsing history, use public Wi-Fi hotspots without worry, and more. I've got Surfshark set up on all my devices now, so I'm just a couple of taps away from browsing securely no matter where I am. If you've never used one before, listen up. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. It's a service that protects your internet connection and privacy online. Using a VPN like Surfshark is the only way to be sure your location and IP address are hidden, your online data is safely encrypted, and your browsing history stays invisible to your internet service provider and other third parties. Surfshark is the VPN that just works better, and it couldn't be easier to use. Once you've signed up, you can use Surfshark on unlimited devices and protect your entire household with one account to stay safe on public Wi-Fi, access content securely, block ads and malware, and get data breach alerts. You can even generate alternative emails to stay safe on different platforms by creating a brand new online identity and a proxy email with alternative ID. Use it to shield your info, plus avoid data leaks in a spam-filled inbox. Remember, without a VPN concealing your IP address, your online activity is visible to websites and trackers. Use Surfshark to keep your browsing private and secure. Sign up now at surfshark.com/oysters or use code oysters at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. Surfshark has a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose except the anxiety that comes with unprotected browsing. Head to surfshark.com/oysters or use code oysters at checkout now for an extra 4 months of online security with Surfshark VPN. Stay safe out there, Clam Fam. Use Surfshark. So the next morning, Tom wakes up on his front porch in a chair to a text from his supervisor in the FBI. He brings Kathy, fresh tomatoes from his garden. He's a gardener, Tom.
Yeah. He's also in touch with nature.
Indeed.
You might say.
Kath tells Tom she's being forcibly retired. And at first I thought she was about to tell him, and you're getting the promotion into my old job or something like that. But that's not what happened. She tells him that she needs him back out in the field. She has no other choice, that the SAC called her, and they want her to put together a task force.
She's got to put together a task force for us. Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio meme.
Task
Force. There's been a spate of home invasions, in Montco and Delco counties, 2, sometimes 3-man crew, middle of the night. So I guess sometimes
it's just
Robbie and Cliff just roll without Peach Boy. They're targeting drug houses, and through DEA informants, they know of at least 9 houses that have been hit. And of those 9, 7 belong to members of a motorcycle gang called the Dark Hearts.
Hell yeah.
Now, watching the preview, the trailer for this series prior to it airing, I was under the impression that Robbie was a Dark Heart.
Yeah.
That he was in a motorcycle gang.
I could never tell in the trailers.
I just kind of assumed.
I just was going in cold. I had no idea what was what.
Well, that was the move.
Yeah.
Because he's not in the Dark Hearts.
No, he's not.
Or he's not now.
He's knocking off the Dark Hearts.
I'll have more to say on this in a minute. So 2 bodies were found last week behind a concrete plant, which puts us in a position where we're not sure if Robbie and Cliff and Peach Boy have maybe committed murder before, because there have already been some bodies dropped in this spate of home invasions. The FBI needs to find his crew.
So the implication there was the beginning of the gang war that they do not want to escalate.
Right.
Like the Dark Hearts had killed some guys
in retaliation
for thinking that they were getting got by another gang.
Got you. Okay. The FBI wants to find the crew doing the robberies before turf war escalates any further. Kath tells Tom they've got the budget for 4 weeks and gives him the files of the team we'll be working with. I love when they do this in a show or a movie. They're like, here's the team we've put together. And they got files for each one, and you see their faces and their names, etc. State Trooper Elizabeth Stover, Sergeant Detective Aaliyah Clinton, and CD Anthony Grasso, a.k.a. Sir Christian Cole.
Grasso.
It's so... He really brings the Italian in this one. Sir Kristen Cole from House of the Dragon. Actor's name?
Fabian Frankel.
Fabian Frankel. They're all young, and as Tom puts it, not a wealth of experience here, which love this too. Don't want it to be a crack team of highly experienced veteran law enforcement officials.
A ragtag band of misfits.
Yes, that's what we need. Their headquarters will be a lovely little stash house that Vice recently confiscated. Yes. Yes, dude. Love it. Fucking love it. Like, just as this is unfolding, I was just like, oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah.
So Tom drives out to the stash house, the task force's new headquarters, and he cleans up the place. We get a montage of Tom basically renovating the stash house, mashed up with Robbie, Cliff, and Peach Boy running through the woods, Cliff jumping into the lake and celebrating a successful trap house robbery. As I'm watching Tom renovate this dump, I'm like, he couldn't get help with this?
Right.
Guy's got to do it by himself?
Yeah.
It's a shit. Anybody who's ever done even a small renovation project on their home, which I know you have, you know how time-consuming this can be.
Cleaning your house by yourself is incredibly time-consuming.
Oh, yeah. If I'm vacuuming, just vacuuming, I need 45 minutes
at least
to an hour and a half, depending on how
many rooms you got to do,
how detailed I'm going with it. Yeah. So around this point, you should realize you're watching a really well-made, really expertly crafted show. When he's dealing with the place that's going to be their headquarters, while Robbie, Cliff, and Peach Boy are doing the cliff jumping.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we are fucking cooking here.
On the scale of crimes that I would commit, were I to enter a life of crime, robbing trap houses would be pretty low.
Way down the list.
This is so terrifying.
Yeah, we're doing coverage of The Wire right now on patreon.com/oysters, clams, cockles, so it's impossible not to reference Omar.
Right, yes.
Who, in my entertainment knowledge bank, is the only other person who's ever done this, who decided, you know how I'll make my living? I'll rob the drug dealers.
Yes, but it is also, I think, a piece of why we, from jump, are kind of... We empathize, or certainly are not mad at what Robbie is doing, because he's dextering, right? He's just hurting other criminals.
It's all in the game.
It's all part of the game.
To put it in the Wire's
terminology, exactly.
So while drying out on the rocks, Robbie gets a text from a contact, and this is important. Contact is saved as MZ, and the text reads, 18 Chapel Road, Marcus Hook, Sunday after 3 a.m., and then in all caps, this is the one. And Robbie announces to the others, new lead, let's go scope it out. So it would seem Robbie has an informant who's feeding him leads from possibly within the biker gang that they've been hitting over and over.
Yep.
We don't get any more information about this contact in this episode. Right. I guarantee we will later down the line. So they hop in the garbage truck and they go scope it out. There's an angry biker ripping a cigarette on the balcony. Cliff gets a little paranoid because the guy looked at him, but I look at the garbage man especially if I'm out front, ripping a cig.
It's just, it's good to have land.
Yeah. Tom drops off a suit for his son Ethan at prison. The guard asks if he'll be visiting his son Ethan as the next visitation session starts in 30 minutes. Tom declines the visit, further lending itself to my theory that I think his son accidentally killed his wife, and perhaps his other child as well, since you identified a third. At night, Robbie peruses a dating website and fires off a message to a woman. He throws the line out, trying to get a catch here. He says, it's my firm belief that people come into our lives for a reason. And I think the woman he's sending that message to is named Claire or something like that. But right after he hits send, another message from another woman pops up. Her name is Darby Dollface, and it just says, wanna fuck?
Yeah, what was happening here?
I really don't know.
Was he on was he on like a porn site more than a dating site? Like what was this another tab? Was he multi-tabbing? Did he have like milfsinyourarea.com up as well as like Plenty of Fish? I wasn't sure what.
I'm really not clear either, because when they first showed him on his computer, I was like, oh, okay, that looks like a porn site. Looks like he's watching some pornography.
And this being an HBO show,
that would not be shocking at all. But then he's typing that message seemingly on that site. So maybe it's just a little bit more of like a promiscuous dating site than the more mainstream ones.
Okay. Okay. All
right. But Darby Dollface is down. So after the kids are asleep, Robbie puts his headphones on. He's jamming out. Fucking love these vibes too. He sneaks into Maeve's room because she's out on a date, steals a joint from her, starts smoking it in her room, questionable decision, starts going through photos in Maeve's room, and this is when we can really surmise that Maeve's dad is Robbie's dead brother Billy because we can match the photos here. Unfortunately, Maeve gets home from her date with her flat-ass date. She said he had a flat ass. I thought that was really unnecessary. Robbie can't get out quick enough, has to hide in the closet. Awkwardness ensues. Eventually, he has to bust out of the closet because it's either witness sex, your niece banging this dude, or break it up with the most awkward, interruption ever. And so he busts out of the closet, ruins the hookup. The kid tries to swing on Robbie. Mistake. Robbie throws him out of the house, and the kid, on the way to his truck, which I don't even think he has all his clothes, he yells, "Fuck you people," because he thinks something weird was going on here, right? So Robbie talks to Maeve afterward, and this is a really heavy scene where she expresses that she's like extremely unhappy. This is technically her house because it was her dad's house that was passed down to her, and she allowed Robbie to move in when he lost his house. Why did he lose his house? We don't know. Maeve's definition of insanity is staying at the freak farm thinking anything is going to change. This turns into a blowout fight with Maeve expressing how miserable she is since her dad died, and now she's raising her former sister-in-law Karen's children, Robbie's kids, after Karen ran off. As we found out earlier in the episode, she's been gone almost a year. Maeve seems faintly aware of Robbie and Cliff's illegal activities in the middle of the night. She's definitely not naive to it. Robbie eventually tells her, "We'll be fine without you. We'll certainly fucking eat better." And she throws her drink in his face. He takes the cup from her and chunks it. I thought we were about to get some domestic violence here. We thankfully avoided that. She drops a cold line. "If I actually believed that for even a second, half a second, I'd have left a long time ago." And I was like, ooh, round one goes to Maeve. When Maeve goes inside, she sees Robbie's daughter looking out from her bedroom. She says, please don't leave. Maeve hugs her. And this is why Maeve can't leave. This is why she's stuck here, because these kids need her. Clearly, daddy garbage man / trap house robber is not the best male role model or father figure. So really makes you feel for and like Maeve as a character.
Yes, and she just a brilliant performance from her.
Oh, yeah, this is fantastic stuff.
I never saw the movie Coda, but that's what you may know her from. She's the daughter in Coda.
Amelia Jones?
Amelia Jones, yep. But just very...
Coda, CODA,
CODA.
highly nominated Coda, right?
Best film winning Coda.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't think I've ever seen her in anything, but she's really, really good. And just to take a moment here to just talk again about what the Brad Inglesby shows do so well is just from Robbie to Tom, is his name? Mark Ruffalo is Tom?
Yeah, Tom Brandis.
To Tom, to Maeve, to everybody is just so lived in.
Yeah.
It takes you 0.0 seconds to just believe that these people are
who they are.
Are who they are and are real people. And the details are so considered. You've already mentioned the Phillies Cup a couple times. It's just the small, he just knows these people. He knows this area. He knows this town. And he is just the set dressing too, the decisions that these people make, small or big or otherwise. Just everything is so well considered, and it's just what makes one episode in, and you just feel like this show is humming already because of all those little things. Yeah,
very distinct characters. They all have their individual flair and quirks and mannerisms, and it's really incredible, man. I mean, like I said earlier, there was a point somewhere about halfway through the episode where I was like, "We got a winner here."
Yeah,
it didn't take that long to feel it. The next day, we're at the task force's stash house office. State Trooper Elizabeth Stover, a.k.a. Lizzie, is outside on the phone yelling at someone. Seems like she's going through a divorce.
Or some type
or
of
breakup. Or something with some dude named Eddie. Aaliyah comes in, introduces herself to Tom. Anthony Grasso rolls in. And this is our ragtag band of police on the task force who are going to work this case, right? So the stash house smells bad. Lizzie is very off put by that. Grasso says obviously, they all have noses and they noticed it, but he was just being polite. They're each going to take a room upstairs and make it their office. And Lizzie has failed to review the case briefing from her comedic hotline or a Hotmail email address. So they got to take 20 minutes.
Is it Snickerdoodle?
Snickerdoodle, 6256 or something like that. That evening, Tom does some bird watching while he gets into his booze drink. This is another just like, this is old man shit. My dad has this app where you, and I even downloaded it at one point because I was curious like how it works, but you essentially download this app, and anytime you hear a bird tweeting, you take out the phone, you let the phone hear it, and it will tell you exactly what kind of bird that is. So bird watchers love this shit because then if you ever get a rare one like Tom did here, bust out the binocs. Oh, that's why the binoculars.
Yeah.
Okay, I never pieced that together.
Yeah, he's a bird watcher.
Me dumb.
Yeah, and I'll just say as a 38-year-old man with a backyard, something eventually hits you.
It calls to you.
It calls to you. And you'll be standing in your kitchen or your living room or whatever, and you'll say, "Oh my God, babe, there's a cardinal. There's a cardinal on the fence. It's on the fence. It's bright red.
Oh, look, a blue jay." Yeah, I do it pretty much every day. I don't know why. It's always those two, the colorful ones.
It just happens, man. And you're just interested in the birds that are populating your backyard, especially when one is real bright and pretty.
Yeah.
So, I get it. I get it. Yeah.
I get it. I can feel myself leaning that way eventually. You know, it's a peaceful hobby too.
Yeah.
It's a nature hobby, you know?
Getting in touch with nature, man.
Yeah, dude.
There's a lot of nature just flying around this show.
We need that. Tom's priest buddy Danny shows up. Danny the priest. They catch up. Turns
Sat
out
on my pillow.
Arrested Development. Turns out Tom has lost his faith in God. He mocks Christ a bit, and my assumption was that this is likely a byproduct of losing his wife, if I had to guess, but I assume we will find out more.
Yeah.
Tom is not interested in theology anymore. He's interested in obscure Phillies statistics. There's a great joke with the priest guessing that the Phillies player Tom is referencing is Allen Iverson, which is, of course, insane.
Right.
Danny is concerned Tom shouldn't be heading up a task force in his state, which I...
Fair.
Because he's a drunk. And also maybe grieving. We're not really sure. His son's in prison. The trial's not even all the way over. Sentencing hasn't happened, I guess, at least. Tom rocks out to some music. Danny has to walk him up the stairs to his bed because he's too drunk to go by himself. Tom's daughter, Emily, gets home and assists him. And it seems like the drunk Tom has been a thing for a while.
Right.
Wouldn't shock me if there's some point in the series, in this 7-episode season, where Tom has to put down the bottle and get serious about the work.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, I can see that.
Now the case is so personal and intense, I've got to put my full energy and effort towards it. I can't be drowning in Tito's every day.
You need to be more clear-headed about things, yeah.
So late at night, our trio of drug dealer robbers, Cliff, Robbie, and Peaches, head to the house they scoped out. Very tense scenes. It does not go well. The bikers share that they are aware of the reputation of the robbers. So these guys have heard about all these different stash houses getting knocked off, right? Mid-robbery, a third biker shows up. Everything goes awry. One of the bikers yells at Robbie that he knows his voice, which felt really relevant and important.
Sure. Yeah.
On one hand, it could have just been that this guy's trying to scare Robbie.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he doesn't recognize his voice. It's just that would jar the hell out of you if you're pulling a robbery and the guy's like, "I know you, man. I fucking know you."
Yeah.
On the other hand, maybe Robbie used to be in a biker gang and since has left that life or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you're being a better detective than I am on the first ep here. I was just I was just in the weeds with the character and maybe Tom more, but your great points about he has some type of informant giving him details about the stash houses. The voice thing was very notable in the moment, and then I just kind of glazed over it with all the bloodshed. But yeah, definitely probably something in Robbie's past that has connective tissue with
the bikers,
the bikers and the gangs. And,
I mean,
and
his
all
whole
that,
look, dude. He looks like a Sons of Anarchy character.
Right.
The beard, the hair, the tats.
Yeah.
So I don't think any of us should be shocked if it ends up that he was in this gang at some point or something like that. Shit hits the fan. Peaches gets shot and killed. Dumbass way to go, by the way. Your shadow is being cast on the wall, son. Pay attention. Robbie cranking that radio music up all the way just makes everything 50 times more intense. I was like, thanks a lot, dude. Jamming some Poison. He can't find the money, though. Robbie headshots one of the other bikers to save Cliff. Cliff shoots and kills the biker chick that was in there. On the way out, they grab the bag that the third biker was dropping off.
Yep.
I don't think we see them open it. So we're assuming, okay, there's the money.
There's the cash.
But it wouldn't shock me either if next episode they open up the bag and it's not what they thought it was.
Okay.
Or something like that. Maybe there's drugs in there.
Could
maybe
be the re-up.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, we just
Hey,
did.
that's the re-up.
It's the re-up, yo. We just did an episode of The Wire where the re-up gets taken.
Yeah.
So 4 bodies here. Peach Boy, rest in peace. 3 biker gang members.
Mm-hmm.
And, and then they find a little boy in the house. And they take him with them like he's going to go fucking live with them at home. What the hell, man? Insane. And just, we'll obviously discuss the ending here, especially after I get through these details. Very much of note that, like, after they know they've killed the 3 bikers that are in the house, they take off their masks. If they haven't taken off their masks, they don't have to take this little boy with them because he won't have seen their faces. But because they took off their masks, they now have to kidnap this child or kill him, and they obviously make the former decision. I'm sure Maeve is going to love having yet another strange child to care for.
Yeah.
You got to feel she's probably going to be pretty pissed off here.
Ross, this is a real pickle that they've gotten themselves into here.
Yeah, oh yeah, Barrett. Got to imagine this is what kicks off the rest of the story that gets told in this little season here. Tom gets a call from Grasso telling him they've got 4 bodies at this trap house. Grasso calls Tom again when Tom is on the way and tells him they got word that there might have been a kid inside the house last night. Tom gets out there. They find the kid's room in the basement where he was clearly sleeping. At first, they're like, ooh, where's Lizzie? Oh, of course, Snickerdoodle hadn't showed up yet or whatever. And then she comes in and she's like, I just actually talked to the neighbors, and it turns out the dad would make the little boy sleep in the basement when he was acting up.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how a neighbor would have that level of detail.
Yeah, I don't know. But something that it was weird vibes, right? That this kid was like sleeping in the basement.
Yeah, on a floor mattress.
I mean, obviously his dad was a biker gang member, so probably, again,
biker gang drug dealer, yeah.
Not the best male role model or father figure. But yeah, it looks sketchy down there. Creepy vibes. Basement
beds always give you like sex crime
kidnapping,
vibes.
sex crime,
pedophile,
dungeon. Yes, the movie that came to mind was the Paul Walker film Running Scared. Remember that fucked up shit?
Yeah, so I don't know, man. I hope it's as simple as that, like, these people were shitty and they stick their kid in the basement so they can do whatever they want upstairs, but who knows? You know, this is a dark show.
It is. I got a question for you. The kid is wrapped up in a Philadelphia Eagles blanket.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brandis, obviously, with the Phillies cup. Philly, obviously notable for their sports fandom, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Throwing batteries on the field, cheering when Michael Irvin broke his neck.
Yeah, assaulting Santa Claus.
The list goes on and on. They're crazy-ass sports fans. If you were writing a TV series set in Houston, which you know well, that's your hometown, and mine as well. Do you think that would you be putting in Astros and Texans in sports gear the same way that the Philly show does? Do you think that is it as culturally relevant to our city as it is to Philly, the Philadelphia area?
I'm going to say no to that question. To the last question, I don't think it's as culturally relevant, simply because I think you could argue Philadelphia has a more cohesive and rich history.
Okay.
You know, and
there's also something about like both northeastern and kind of like more like blue collar towns, and I Delco and Montco feel a little bit more
absolutely
blue collar.
Yeah,
and the weather is obviously like very cold and dreary and bleak for half of the year, so I feel like you really lean into
sports even more.
The escapism of sports. But just always notable to me that like that's a huge thing in these shows is like the nods to Philly sports.
Yeah, I think it's just so ingratiated in like the culture. Where Houston's just a different type of city. It's such a cultural melting pot, and so international,
sprawling as well, and more sprawling,
very very massive and sprawling. So like, I'm not sure it would connect the same way.
Yeah,
you know, when people think of Philly sports, the Phillies, the Eagles, the Flyers, etc. Like those are all like I could be misspeaking here. Sixers, thank you. Like those are all historic teams,
more historic teams than ours, for sure.
That have been winning championships for decades and decades. Whereas Houston sports, like we only recently came into an era where that's even a fucking thing for us.
Yeah.
Of course, the Rockets won back-to-back titles when we were little kids, but those were the only 2 championships Houston ever experienced prior to the Astros going on the run they've been on. We have no Super Bowl appearances, no AFC championship appearances. The Texans are largely a laughingstock to the rest of the league, or at least the serious franchises, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think it would tie in the same.
Yeah.
I think it works, though.
Totally. I love it.
Like, now that we're talking about how many of these Phillies and sports Philadelphia references there are, it sounds like it would come off as heavy-handed, but at no point during the episode was I like, we get it.
Yeah, no,
Phillies.
it just feels very authentic.
Works. It just works. So Robbie carries this sleeping biker gang child up to his house while sad music plays, roll credits. So that final 15 minutes there with the trap house robbery that goes wrong, how did you feel about this from like an action scene standpoint?
Oh, I mean, very, very, very intense, violent. I'm not necessarily the type of person that like gravitates towards it was always a hang up for me. It's one of the reasons why I had never really gotten into The Sopranos is because I was a little bit nervous about like the gratuitous violence, right?
The amount of murder that would be occurring
that I thought was happening in that show.
And to be clear, there's a difference between gun violence and like the medieval violence of a Game of Thrones show.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
For some reason it hits differently.
Yeah.
For a lot of people.
But in a show like this, like the kind of shocking outburst of this gang, drug, gun violence is like part of the story. It's part of the thrill. It's part of the what makes it feel extra heightened and extra intense and crazy. And so it really works to close out this episode here. And this is a crime thriller 2-hander drama. This is 2 guys on opposing sides that we're going to be tracking until their paths inevitably begin to cross.
They're on an inevitable crash course.
They are on an inevitable crash course, I would say so, yeah.
Yeah. I also thought it worked really well because the first robbery we witness, going off without a hitch,
goes
with
off
zero violence minus the pistol whip, kind of sets you up.
It does
to where
set you up.
You're like, oh, man, I don't know if they can get that lucky twice.
Exactly.
You know, and it's just very ominous from the get-go in this one because that one biker is so aggressive. Mm-hmm. That guy did not care at all. The Halloween masks did not faze this gentleman.
You did a good impression of I know your voice, man.
Fucking know you, man.
I know you, man.
I'm like shitting my pants in bed. This isn't even real. Like, if I was that dude in the skeleton mask, I would have hightailed it the fuck out of there immediately. Oh my God, he ID'd me. Yeah. So it's also, he yells something like, "Uh-oh, boys, I can tell this hasn't gone to plan. Mm-hmm. What's going to happen now?" I'm like, being antagonized by the person I'm robbing would drive me insane.
Yeah, it would not be fun.
Really, really well. Like the way it's shot, the visuals of this whole episode, all of the cinematography is super, super cool as well. Really well done. Really fun stuff. The running through the woods and jumping off the cliffs thing pops into my head again there. But yeah, just brilliant writing, storytelling, and acting. Fantastic visuals, beautifully shot. I would argue it's probably hard. It would be hard to have a better series premiere in this genre.
Yeah,
this genre of like dark, heavy, personal crime. Drama.
I think Mayor of Easttown was a similar one where I watched the first episode and I was like, oh yeah, this is good. And to be quite honest, like not that I'm need to be honest about this, not like I'm a truth teller. This is just HBO shit, man, right?
Yeah, this is their shit.
Like go back to the classics, Sopranos, Wire, and then on to things like True Detective season 1, Mayor of Easttown. Whenever they get a little crime thriller drama action going, like
tends to go well.
They know how to cook. So, yeah.
Yeah, this would look, a really good litmus test for when you're watching something truly great is, did you immediately want to watch the next episode when the first one ended? Mm-hmm. And you and I have complained endlessly over the last several years about how like the streaming era and the binge model is a nightmare, and like how we wish The Bear would have gone one episode a week,
Right,
and you know how this show was like, oh my God, I wish this was on Hulu or something, so that I could immediately go watch the next episode, because I want to know what happens. I want to know what's going to happen. I want to see the crash course play out. Super stoked about this though. Inglesby seems like he's got another winner on his hands. The cast is awesome. I fucking love Mark Ruffalo, dude.
Yeah.
He has crazy range, and he's just very believable. Like every character I've ever seen him play, even though he looks the exact same. He looks the exact same in everything I've ever seen him in.
He does like wistful sorrow so well.
Oh yeah, that's a great way of putting it. Seriously.
Yeah.
It just, you feel it the whole time in this dude's face and his eyes. That has to be really difficult and taxing as an actor to live in that headspace, man. Which it seems like is most of the characters on the series that we're watching in Task.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't anticipate this being a super easy watch. I think it's going to be pretty dark and heavy week to week. So it's probably good that we can't all binge it, or it would be an emotional beating. But I am very excited to see the next 6 episodes of this show.
Indeed.
And talk about it here with all of you, because that was what we were looking for. I'm so props to you, because you had Task on your radar starting a few months ago, and I was kind of ignoring it, and you, the first like 6 times you brought it up. And then finally when the trailer dropped and I watched it, I was like, oh shit, didn't Barrett mention this show over and over and over the last couple months?
And I'll say now, the trailer didn't necessarily like get into my veins the way that other trailers have. I was just like, oh, okay, well, this is not quite what I expected. Honestly, there was so much nature in the trailer. It was so much woods, and like it reminded me too much of like The Outsider or something.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, I guess Margot. I'm sure it'll probably be good. It's Brad Inglesby. But yeah, obviously now that we're here, it's lived up to the expectations thus far.
Now that you've mentioned it, there are several times in this episode where they just show random birds, like a hummingbird at a bird feeder.
Yeah.
As little, like, transition screens or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, the bird stuff, heavy birds, heavy nature.
Yep.
Makes me kind of want to get out there in Delco and see.
Dude, just get out in your backyard, man.
See what's what. Yeah.
Yell at your wife when you see a cardinal.
Babe!
You're
not going to believe this. There's 2 of them. There's a second cardinal that's entered the yard.
Oh, yeah. When we get a couple of them going and they start, like, interacting.
They're mingling.
There we go.
Oh, that's life. Yeah. It's a real slice of life. Barrett and I will be back Monday with our discussion and review of Task, Season 1, Episode 2. We'll also be back next week on patreon.com/oysters, clams, cockles with Season 1, Episode 8 of The Wire. I believe it's a 12 or 13 episode first season.
13, yep.
Jump in with us on Patreon. Enjoy The Wire with us. Stylistically, it could not be more different than Task. But in terms of subject matter, there are some definite crossovers, and not just with Omar being a stash house robber. So no reason you can't have double the crime drama in your life right now.
Absolutely. And if you're desperate to get a takeoff about Task, we are squeezing in 1 hotline episode. It's exclusively for our Mollusk Militia tier on Patreon. And while we'll likely prioritize wire calls, since that's what we're focusing on over there, we're happy to take task calls as well.
Yeah.
So
you can mix in a task call or 2. Why not?
If that's what's really floating your fancy, and you're like, but they're not doing hotline calls. We are doing 1 a month, and we're happy to add some task coverage to that as well.
One more question for you before we leave. You mentioned read some reviews and whatnot about Task. Is it being critically reviewed well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yes. Although there are some, I have seen a couple of negative reviews as well. Or at least, or one, anyways, that's coming to mind, that compares it to Mayor of Easttown and says that through 1, this one is too bleak, basically. It's too dark, too focused on the heavy, and I'd have to go back and watch the first episode of Mayor, but that Mayor established a lot more of like the warmer family connections early. like with Mare and her mom, and like
Yes.
and the Mare and her daughter relationship, which is, you know, a strained one, but a positive one, if I recall correctly.
And Marin, like the community.
In the community,
that she's in.
yes, all that type of stuff that was maybe balanced the scales a little bit better earlier.
Whereas this jumps right into
Whereas this is just like, this is going to be bleak, but that's what this is. That's what this is. It's a similar show to Mare, but it's a different one. It's way more. This is Heat.
Yeah.
Right? You know, this is crime shit, real crime shit.
Yeah, cops and robbers.
Cops and robbers. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little less.
Oh, another thing that I saw. Did you check out any of Dope Thief?
No.
Okay. So that was a FX show late last year, I want to say.
Yeah, I remember seeing commercials.
It apparently has a very, very, very similar plot to this.
Oh.
Or at least starts out the same way, where like people are knocking off trap houses, basically.
Well, the name Dope Thief would imply.
Quite literally, there are people thieving the dope. So.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Anyway, yeah, just a couple notes. But yes, largely very, very well received. Yes, I believe so.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Good to hear. Holler at Barrett and I on social media, at Barrett Dudley, at WR Bolin. Be back next week. Until next time, keep doing what you're doing.